Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So we have been so intermittent with the weather, but I'm really glad that Troop in the Colour on Saturday, 2nd of June, went beautifully. Now, there are sometimes problems when I think there's so much sunshine and the soldiers in their uniforms and the horses, you have people fainting, plus, people in the crowds. It can get a lot. So there were definite perks for it to be in a much cooler June, but obviously we had quite a lot of torrential downpours. But we are Brits, and I will say, Siri, show me a more British photograph, and I think that she would struggle. This is us. As long as we are armed with a brolly, we are absolutely fine. And that's an umbrella to the rest of you guys. So the King's official birthday, which was held on Saturday, is the same as when Queen Elizabeth II would have had hers as well. It's always the second Saturday in June, and not just those two, but the many monarchs before them. The first Troop in the Colour was performed in the 17th century during King Charles II's reign, and in 1748 it was decided that the parade would mark the official birthday of the monarch. It became an annual event under King George III's reign, which started in 1760, and it was Queen Elizabeth II's great-grandfather, King Edward VII, who, much like King Charles, was born in November. He decided to keep it in June because of the better weather. Oh dear. Well, obviously, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is England. We're used to it. We're Brits. Scotland has it. Wales has it. We can handle it. And if anything, it made for some incredible photographs. It didn't just rain, the heavens completely opened. Thankfully, however, it would seem that the weather couldn't make up its mind. 1 minute, it looked like everybody was going to drown. The next minute, glorious sunshine. You wouldn't even know, apart from the puddles on the floor, that it had been raining most of the morning. It shows how ridiculous it got, because with the King's birthday 41 gun salute, at the beginning it was raining. By the end of the 41 gun salute, the sun was out. But here's a bit of trivia for you. Some people often ask, why 41? Well, 21 gun salutes are for the monarch, and it dates back to when ships used to come into port and they discharged their guns to show that there was no hostility, that they were friend and not foe. But then they add on an extra 20 if the ceremony is being held in a royal compound or a royal park, a royal estate. Now, as for the rain, it is going to be a topic of conversation because it was just, we had so much of it. But when the royal family first started leaving Buckingham Palace, I was really disappointed because they had, obviously, it had been raining and the women were dressed up beautifully, but they had the buggies with the big hood over, so you really struggled to see some of them. Lady Louise looked like she caught the short straw, or she wasn't actually that bothered by a bit of rain. The same with Princess Anne's husband, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence. Due to the coverage of the carriages, we just about managed to see the Duke of Kent, who was sitting alongside the Duchess of Edinburgh. We also had a nice wave from the Duchess of Gloucester. They did, however, as many people pointed out, they did look like giant baby carriages. But all was not lost, because thankfully when the King and the Queen came out, they were in a beautiful glass carriage, and not only were they, but following behind was the Princess of Wales with Prince George, with Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. And I screamed. I did. I mean, I knew she was going to be there because we had the big announcement the night before, but I was so happy to see her, and she looked absolutely beautiful. There were lots of comparisons with her dress. It's a dress that she had worn several years before, but she's had it restyled, and she did look like Eliza Doolittle when she attends the races, which was funnier for me because I was actually watching My Fair Lady the night before. She looked incredible. I mean, she always looks immaculate, but it was just such a wonderful moment seeing her. The crowds cheered, and the children, they were an absolute delight in the carriage rides, from waving, smiling, laughing. It really did make for such a beautiful moment. Well, several moments throughout the day. Now, as I said, the change in weather certainly gave us many incredible photographs. And one of the people that I'm lucky to know, Joshua Brandwood of Brandwood Photography, he went up to London, and he was so excited because at the time he was planning to go up there. He wasn't sure that the princess would be there, and she was there. So it made his day. But he takes Brilliant photographs. If you don't follow him on X, formerly known as Twitter, please do give him a follow, but you can look up his website. Now, as for the excitement of seeing the Princess of Wales, as I said, she looked incredible. The way she stepped off of this carriage, not for mere mortals, in stilettos. The Princess of Wales, as I said, looked completely immaculate, as did the children. Princess Charlotte looking like the perfect little lady. Her dress seemingly coordinated with her mother's, with a nod to the military as well. She looked absolutely perfect. There was a lovely photograph shared of the king looking down at his adorable granddaughter as she looked up at him, and it was just a very sweet interaction between them. We saw lots of cute interactions with all members of the royal family. Prince William playfully stroking Prince Louis's ears, Catherine pulling back Princess Charlotte's hair as they stood there. This family are absolutely wonderful to watch. We also had the Duchess of Edinburgh, who was seen laughing and joking with the Queen, with the Princess of Wales, and of course she was chatting away to Prince Louis, who, as we always expected, was naturally animated throughout. He's such a well-behaved little boy, but you can see that he is absolutely full of so much energy. He was dancing on the balcony, he was running and jumping, and he really is so much fun to watch. Prince George as well, he is growing up so fast, and he looked very protective of his mother throughout the day. The family looked incredibly close on the balcony, with lots of affectionate moments between all of them. Lady Louise was stood alongside her mother, who we'd seen earlier riding in the carriage. She was re-wearing a dress that she wore to the King's coronation, and who wouldn't re-wear a dress like that? She looked absolutely beautiful. She had mixed up the hat, and apparently she was wearing a hat previously worn by the Duchess of Edinburgh. So, I mean, you would, wouldn't you? You'd be in your mum's wardrobe all the time, stealing all of her stuff, because as we know, Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, is just as beautifully dressed as the Princess of Wales whenever we see her at events. The King, who has obviously been undergoing his own cancer treatment, and the fact that he was 75, got soaked at one point as he stood outside Buckingham Palace and saluted the troops. We saw a lovely moment with the grandchildren all bowing their head out of respect alongside the Princess of Wales. The King, throughout the day, there were moments when he looked really emotional, but this is the King's birthday parade. It must fill him with pride watching all of the soldiers, the drummers and the horses. There were over 1,000 soldiers on horseback. And obviously with the weather that we had, there were a few spicy moments with some of the horses, but obviously most of them are incredibly skilled, including Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, who did have a spicy horse moment at one point, but she is an incredible rider and she got the horse under control very quickly without most people even noticing. As with the rain, as I said, we did get a lot of incredible photographs. At one point, the Princess of Wales carriage steamed up and she and Charlotte were quickly wiping the windows so the members of the public could see them waving. There was a lot of rumours at the beginning of the day, because the rainfall was so horrific, that the flyover that's always done may not have happened due to weather conditions. But it's like Her Majesty was up there shining down on her son and turned around and had a word with the weather, because, as I said, just at the end of that 41 gun salute, we saw the clouds parted and it was a glorious, beautiful day. Princess Anne, Prince Edward and Prince William all looked truly magnificent on horseback, in the sunshine and even in the rain, if they did end up a bit soggy at the end. But look at these incredible photographs of Prince William. That jawline, that man, honestly, it does get a girl in a tizzy. Members of the public and the royal family were also incredibly lucky, because earlier in the day when the parade was taking place, you of course had the moment where the clouds parted again. As I said, it was like someone was shining down from above, and we had that glorious spell of sunshine, but you could see the moody clouds slowly working their way back, and it only started raining just as the King and the Queen had got in their carriage. I mean, talk about incredible timing. The flypast, as you guys know, is definitely one of my favourite moments. I love the red arrows, and we actually had some footage of some of the pilots in the sky as they flew over. The whole event every year never ceases to amaze me as to how incredible the display is from all of the servicemen and women, the 1,000 or so horses, the bands. As I said, those weather conditions must have been really miserable at times, but it really was the perfect day for pomp and pageantry pageantry, and also a little proposal from one royal guard who popped the question to his lucky lady, then had to leg it quickly back into Buckingham Palace before the royal family took to the balcony. What a cute moment. Clearly, love was in the air, not just for the King and for the Princess of Wales, but obviously for this young couple as well. So I wish them all the best for the future. Now, obviously, bitterness and jealousy were definitely wafting over from the air covering Montecito. But Meghan went to a new low for me. In an embarrassment. I mean, my toes curled, my jaw clenched in cringe for her. How could she possibly think that this would look good? Her trying, somehow trying to upstage the return of the Princess of Wales, who is undergoing cancer treatment. I said in a previous video that you could set your watches to it, with obviously Catherine confirming that she was going to be making an appearance when she posted that beautiful photograph and shared that deeply personal message talking about how her cancer treatment is going, about how she has good days and bad days and she's not out of the woods yet. Incredible, stunning photograph, wasn't it? Absolutely beautiful. So of course, now that she being her in Montecito, had confirmation that the Princess of Wales was definitely going to be there, it was a given that she was going to do something. But I have to say, even this was a pathetic new low even for her. Her PR company must honestly be slapping itself in the face at this point, going, we can't help her. How can we help her? Because she pulls stunts like this all the time. They need to charge her a lot more money. But the fact that crisis control company Sunshine Sachs walked away from her, I don't think it's going to be too long before Ari Emanuel does something very similar. Meghan is truly her own worst enemy. This particular stunt made her look petty, childish, and most importantly, as we have often said, incredibly jealous of the Princess of Wales. It's not a good look for a grown woman that promotes kindness. But of course, we've had people come out with defending articles since obviously the backlash was pretty immense, as was the piss taking. And they've said that it wasn't Meghan's fault that Nacho did this, because how was Meghan to know when Nacho was going to release it? First of all, girl, we know that you're friends with Nacho. We know that Meghan is very controlling, and the fact that she deliberately sent him the raspberry jam to you and some dog biscuits to coincide with this. I think that Nacho is very aware that it was trooping the colour, and he possibly would have also seen the fact that the Princess of Wales was definitely going to be making an appearance. You would have to have been living under a rock as a hermit to not know that this was going to be a really big moment for Catherine. He is in effect doing her dirty work. He has had a lot of backlash on Instagram with people saying this is really beneath you. You should concentrate on your polo career. Can't you see that Meghan is using you? And I don't know. He looks as close with Meghan as he is with Harry. But honestly, to be trying to feed to the public, to be trying to say to us that Meghan didn't know, please, as some people say, sure Jan, this is sure jam. The fact that she's done it at so many other occasions, it's honestly embarrassing at this point, because at the end of the day, all this has done is made her look ridiculous. We knew from the moment, as I said, Catherine posted that beautiful photograph, stood under the tree. We knew, everybody knew, that Meghan would not let Catherine, who's fighting cancer, have that one day without trying to get the attention back on herself. But as I said, a jar of raspberry jam, so exclusive, she's given up doing, 1 of 50. This is 2 of 2. And dog biscuits, did she really think that that was going to have any sort of effect on the Princess of Wales' first public return? It's a new level of desperation from Meghan, and I don't know whether to feel sorry for her at this point or just to continue laughing at her. Despite what some people say, I do happen to think that I go fairly easy on Meghan. I do try to stay incredibly neutral. I play devil's advocate, and I even give her compliments when compliments are due. But when she pulls stunts like this, it's not surprising that she gets such negative backlash. Nobody on this earth that I've ever seen before on a worldwide stage or platform knows how to self-destruct quite like Meghan Markle. Well, that's not entirely true, because I also think that Harry is also very good at doing that himself. Those two really are a perfect match for each other, aren't they? So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon where we need to talk about some rumours that are circulating about the couple, and then of course we've got Father's Day. So take care for now and I'll see you soon. Bye.